the Quaestus of Zealandia. Congratulations, Your Majesty. As the ruler of Zealandia, you must make sure that your country is both efficiens, which is Latin for efficient, and efficax, Latin for effective. To be efficient means that you shouldn't use more resources than necessary to accomplish your goals. The formula for efficiency is the number of activities that are done divided by the cost of those activities. To be effective means doing as many things as possible that need to be done. And the formula for effectiveness is the number of activities done divided by the number of activities that needed to be done. The Council of Thinkers provides Your Majesty with resources to help your country during each period. Before the first period started, the Council of Thinkers expected that your country would demand 100 units of activity at $1 each. Because of that, they set the budget at $100. However, there may be unexpected fluctuations in actual demand. Because of that, actual demand might be $100, but it might be as little as $90, or it might be as much as $110. That means that there are three possible outcomes for this period. One possibility is if actual demand exactly equals the amount of resources that Your Majesty has available. In that case, all activities can be accomplished, and that means that Zealandia can be both efficient and effective. Another possibility is that actual demand is greater than the amount of resources that are available. In that case, some activities will have to be left undone because there aren't enough resources to accomplish them. Therefore, Zealandia can be very efficient, but it will be less effective. The third possibility is if actual demand is less than the amount budgeted. That is going to create a budgetary surplus because you have more resources than you need. The question is what to do with those surplus resources. One possibility is to stockpile those resources in the royal treasury. In that case, it's going to increase your chances to be effective in the future when you can use some of those stockpiled resources. However, it's going to decrease your current efficiency because you used more resources to accomplish your goals than the Council of Thinkers expected. Alternatively, you could choose to allow that surplus to revert to the council. In that case, you're going to increase your current efficiency, but you won't have those resources saved, so it decreases your chance to be effective in the future. Your score at the end of each period of your reign is the average of your efficiency and effectiveness scores. And your goal, Your Highness, is to maximize your cumulative average of efficiency and effectiveness scores during your reign as ruler of Zealandia. So, the first thing that happens in a period is that the budget has to be determined. In period 1, that would be $100 because the council expects there to be a demand for $100 worth of activities. In the following years, if no money is reverted to the council, then the budget in each successive year may be the previous demand plus $10, or exactly the previous demand, or the previous period's demand minus $10. However, if you allow resources to revert to the council, then the council knows that you didn't need all of those resources. In that case, the budget for the following year will be the last period's budget minus half of the amount that was reverted. Now, step 2 is to determine how much is in your royal treasury. That is your personal store of resources. In period 1 of your reign, the royal treasury has a 0 balance. In subsequent periods, if you choose to stockpile a budgetary surplus, then the treasury is going to increase, and that amount will be available to you in future periods if there's a budgetary shortage. On the other hand, drawing on the resources in the treasury is going to reduce the amount of resources that are available to you in the future in case there's another shortage. The next issue is determining demand. In period 1, we expected the demand to be for $100 worth of activities, but that does not necessarily mean that that is what actual demand is going to be. It could be that actual demand is $100, but it might be as high as $110 worth of activities, or it might be as low as $90 worth of activities. In subsequent years, actual demand could also be the previous demand, or it might be $10 higher than the previous demand, or $10 lower. The next step is determining the activities that can be done and the amount that is in the treasury. In each period, the amount of resources that are available to your Majesty would be the combination of the amount in the current budget plus any amount that you have already stockpiled in the royal treasury. That means if the budget in the current period is greater than the demand, all activities can be done and a surplus is created because you did not need the entire budget to satisfy your people's demand. In that case, if you stockpile those surplus resources, then the new balance in your royal treasury will be the old balance plus the amount of the surplus. If you choose to allow that surplus to revert to the Council of Thinkers, then the amount in your treasury will stay the same. Now, what happens if budget is exactly equal to demand? In that case, all activities can be done and there is no change in the amount in your treasury because no new treasury was created and none was used. Another possibility is that the demand might be greater than the budget, but less than the amount of resources that you have available to you. In that case, all activities can be done, but some of the treasury will be used to cover the shortage. In that case, the new amount in your royal treasury will be the old treasury balance minus the amount of the shortage. Another possibility is that the demand is greater than the budget, but exactly equal to the resources that are available. In that case, all activities can be done, but it will use up all of the resources in the treasury, bringing the new treasury balance to zero. There is a final possibility, and that is that the demand is greater than all of the resources available to your majesty. In that case, all of the budgeted activities cannot be done. We can use up all available resources and do as many activities as possible. In that case, new treasury balance will be zero, and not all activities will be accomplished. The last step is determining your Majesty's score at the end of each budgetary period. The formula to determine efficiency is the number of activities that you did divided by the cost of those activities. Effectiveness is the number of activities you did divided by the number of activities that your people demanded. And your score for each period is the average of your efficiency and effectiveness score. Your job in each period is to try to make your average efficiency and effectiveness score as high as possible. At the end of each period, your cumulative average score is the sum of all of your average scores for all of your reigns so far divided by the number of years. This is your goal. This is the number that you are trying to make as high as possible for the benefit of the people of Zealandia. So, to summarize, a surplus is created whenever the resources budgeted are greater than the demand, and your job is to determine whether to stockpile those resources or allow them to revert to the council. Stockpiling hurts your current efficiency because you used more resources than the council expected to accomplish the activities were done. However, stockpiling may help your future effectiveness because it creates a reserve of resources that you can draw upon in the future. By contrast, reverting helps your current efficiency because it decreases the cost per activity in the current period. However, that means that these resources will not be available to your Majesty in the future, which may hurt your future effectiveness. The choice is yours, Your Majesty. Rule Zealandia with efficiency and effectiveness.